The Shahab 3, Persian, Ŝahāb 3, Shahab means meteor, is a medium-range ballistic missile, MRBM, developed by Iran and based on the North Korean Nodong-1. The Shahab 3 has a range of 1,280 kilometers, 800 miles. A MRBM variant can now reach 1,930 kilometers, 1,200 miles. Can hit targets as far as US allies Israel, Egypt, Romania, Bulgaria and Greece. It was tested from 1998 to 2003 and added to the military arsenal on July 7, 2003, with an official unveiling by Khamenei on July 20. With an accuracy of 2,500 meters sep. The Shahab 3 missile is primarily effective against large, soft targets, like cities. Given the Shahab-3's payload capacity, it would likely be capable of delivering nuclear warheads. According to the IAEA, Iran in the early 2000s may have explored various fuzing, arming and firing systems to make the Shahab 3 more capable of reliably delivering a nuclear warhead. The forerunners to this missile include the Shahab 1 and Shahab 2. The then Iranian Defense Minister Admiral Khamenei has denied that Iran plans to develop a Shahab 4. Some successors to the Shahab have longer range and are also more maneuverable. Operating under the Sanam Industrial Group, Department 140, which is part of the Defense Industries Organization of Iran. The Shahid Hemmat Industrial Group, SHIG, led the development of the Shahab missile. U.S. Air Force National Air and Space Intelligence Center estimates that as of June 2017 less than 50 launchers were operationally deployed. Shahab 3B. The Shahab 3B differs from the basic production variant. It has improvements to its guidance system and warhead, a few small changes on the missile body, and a new re-entry vehicle whose terminal guidance system and rocket nozzle steering method are completely different from the Shahab 3A's spin-stabilized re-entry vehicle. The new re-entry vehicle uses a triconic aeroshell geometry, or baby bottle design, which improves the overall lift-to-drag ratio for the re-entry vehicle. This allows greater range maneuverability, which can result in better precision. The triconic design also reduces the overall size of the warhead from an estimated 1 metric ton, 2,200 pounds, to 700 kilograms, 1,500 pounds. The rocket nozzle control system allows the missile to change its trajectory several times during re-entry and even terminal phase, effectively preventing interceptor guidance via trajectory prediction by early warning radar, a method nearly all long-range ABM systems use. As a high-speed ballistic missile and pre-mission fueling capability, the Shahab 3 has an extremely short launch-impact time ratio. This means that the IN's gyroscope guidance would also remain relatively accurate until impact. Important, given the fact that the gyroscopes tend to lose accuracy with longer flights. The SEP is estimated to be at 30 to 50 meters, 98 to 164 feet, or less. However, the accuracy of the missile is largely speculative and cannot be confidently predicted for wartime situations. These improvements would increase the Shahab 3B's survivability against ABM systems such as Israel's Arrow 2 missile, though its ability to overcome Arrow is very questionable, as well as being used for precision attacks against high-value targets such as command, control, and communications centers. Shahab 3 Image Gallery. Shahab 3C and D. Little is known about Shahab 3C and Shahab 3D. From what can be gathered, the missiles have an improved precision, navigation system, and a longer range. The missiles were indigenously developed and are being mass-produced. Iran has a production capacity of 70 units per year. History and tests. The Shahab 3 was first seen in public on September 25, 1998, in Azadi Square, Tehran, in a parade held to commemorate the Iranian Sacred Defense Week. Iran has conducted at least 6 test flights of the Shahab 3. During the first one, in July 1998, the missile reportedly exploded in mid-air during the latter portion of its flight. U.S. officials wondered whether the test was a failure or the explosion was intentional. A second, successful test took place in July 2000. In September 2000, Iran conducted a third test, in which the missile reportedly exploded shortly after launch. In May 2002, Iran conducted another successful test, leading then Iranian Defense Minister Ali Shamkhani to say the test improved the Shahab-3's power and accuracy. Another successful test reportedly occurred in July 2002. On July 7, 2003, the Foreign Ministry spokesman said that Iran had completed a final test of the Shahab 3 a few weeks ago. That was the final test before delivering the missile to the armed forces, according to a New York Times report. On November 9, 2004, Shamkhani said Iran could mass-produce the missile. On November 2, 2006, Iran fired unarmed missiles to begin 10 days of military war games. Iranian state television reported dozens of missiles were fired, including Shahab 2 and Shahab 3 missiles. The missiles had ranges from 300 kilometers, 190 miles, to up to 2,000 kilometers, 1,200 miles. Iranian experts have made some changes to Shahab 3 missiles, installing cluster warheads in them, with the capacity to carry 1,400 bombs. These launches come after some United States-led military exercises in the Persian Gulf on October 30, 2006, meant to train for blocking the transport of weapons of mass destruction. Great Prophet 3 test. On July 8, 2008, Iran test-fired a non-upgraded version of the Shahab 3 as one of 9 medium and long-range missiles launched as part of the Great Prophet 3 exercise, within a few weeks of a recently concluded military exercise by Israel. Other missiles fired include the surface-to-surface Fateh 110 and Zelzal missiles. Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps air and naval units conducted these tests in a desert location. Air Force Commander Hossein Salami advised that Iran was ready to retaliate to military threats, saying, "We warn the enemies who intend to threaten us with military exercises and empty psychological operations that our hand will always be on the trigger and our missiles will always be ready to launch." One day later, on July 9, 2008, Iran once again fired a version of the Shahab 3, amongst other missiles, which officials have said has a range of 1,250 miles, 2,010 kilometers, and is armed with a 1-ton conventional warhead. These tests were conducted at the Strait of Hormuz, which Iran has threatened to shut down traffic into if it is attacked. Independent national security weblog, Arms Control Wonk.com, analyzed Iranian launch footage and concluded that Iranian claims of testing an upgraded Shahab missile were unfounded. A senior Republican Guard commander said Iran would maintain security in the Strait of Hormuz and the Persian Gulf. Gen. Mohammad Hejazi, chief of the Guard's Joint Staff, called the missile tests a defensive measure against invasions. He also said, Iran will not jeopardize the interests of neighboring countries. according to the Israeli newspaper Haaretz. The French news agency Agence France Presse, which published pictures from the missile test, reported that Iran had apparently doctored photographs of missile test firings and exaggerated the capabilities of the weapons, and that an additional missile was added afterwards to cover up a failed launch, in a sign of commercial fallout from the second missile test in 2 days. The French oil company Total S.A. announced the conditions were not right to invest in Iran, as major oil companies have been under increasing political pressure from the United States and its allies over their activities in Iran, amid mounting tensions over Iran's nuclear program. To ratchet up the pressure further, Israel also showed off its latest spy plane in what is seen as a display of strength in response to Iranian war games. Missile tests. The test on 8 July 2008 caused anxiety. The tests were seen widely as a response to Israeli aerial war games staged earlier in the month. Ali Shirazi, representative of the Revolutionary Guard's naval forces, warned that Iran would set fire to Israel and the U.S. Navy in the Persian Gulf as its first response to any preemptive strike by America or Israel over its nuclear program. Brig. Gen. Hossein Salami, commander of Iran's Revolutionary Guards Air Force, said, "Our missiles are ready for shooting at any place and any time, quickly and with accuracy." He also made the statement that enemy targets are under surveillance. Speaking on a visit to Malaysia on the first day of the tests, Iranian President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad dismissed the possibility of an attack by the United States or Israel as a joke. General Mohammad Hijazi, chief of the Guard's Joint Staff, called the missile tests a defensive measure against invasions. He also said that Iran will not jeopardize the interests of neighboring countries. Variants. Shahab is the name of a class of Iranian missiles. Service time of 1988 present, which comes in 6 variants: Shahab 1, Shahab 2, Shahab 3, Shahab 4, Shahab 5, and Shahab 6. Operators. Current operators. Iran, Air Force of the Army of the Guardians of the Islamic Revolution. See also Military of Iran, Iranian military industry, current equipment of the Iranian Army. Shahab 3, an advanced IRBM. Encyclopedia Astronautica, Iranian missiles, from Sarbaz.org. Website of former Iranian Imperial Army loyalists. Missile threats CSIS Ŝahāb 3. Missile threats CSIS Ŝahāb 3 variants. EMAD. GHADR. Ŝahāb 3 MRBM from Military Periscope. Login required. Russia and the development of the Iranian missile program. In Czech. Iran, Námorní svěcení. Visual comparison of Ŝahāb 3B and FAJR 3. Jane's Defense Weekly Volume 43 and Issue 37. Iran's ballistic missile developments, long-range ambitions.